following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Right, so after dinner you go up to the surface and you go to the wall for your memorial. Here's a wall. The wall is just like, it's kind of like just a single cast cement thing. And it's just got unsung. And then there's names going down 3 columns and a bit. And the kid's name is actually there now. It's looking a lot fresh.
Shit.
Sometimes I come here to remind myself how fortunate I am. Actually, more like how fortunate all of you are.
It's both.
Alvin heard a name when he first turned up that was like another shapeshifter that somebody thought was back. He's going to backtrace up the line to see if that name's on the...
It is.
Damn it.
But just because their name's on the board doesn't mean that they're dead.
No, but someone expected them to...
Cypher's name is on there twice.
Oh. No.
Oh, actually, that makes sense. Yeah.
Name is Cypher.
Alvin, did you want to say something?
I don't know what to say. This having a memorial wall isn't really in my repertoire. What do you do with them? How do you pay tribute to the names, Rox?
I was just talking about, our latest loss, not the whole thing.
Well,
I arranged for a proper memorial escort. They're not here.
So the kid's name would be... they've written it like Tyrell.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure he'd wanted it that way. Hang on. I'll walk up. And the next one beneath, I'll scratch in Big T.
Something like it.
There we go.
I think you're probably lucky if Roxanne doesn't kill you for doing something to a memorial wall. But
Bring it.
But that was sweet as
You
shit.
could have put it beside
Kiss on
it.
cheek.
Oh, shucks. What was that?
You could have put it beside it,
Yeah.
so it doesn't look like a second entry.
Sure. Just take this fit. Change the scene.
Mauling them.
There you go. Those are Xander's, you bastard.
You asked for them back.
That's true.
And technically that's Svetlana's, but that's yours, so make the most of a bad situation.
Eventually some soldiers arrive.
Bit late.
Actually, no, you're early.
Oh, shit, that's our fault, I guess.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Tyrell very well. But probably no one here did. He was not around long. When he first arrived, he was an angry young man who felt bullied by those around him, especially since he was under constant armed guard, perhaps not realizing the gravity of the situation. Nonetheless, he did try to throw himself all in on an exercise as though it were the real thing. Whether or not that contributed to anything, we'll never know. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about his untimely end is that he will never experience the future that he might have had. An opportunity lost is more tragic than any individual. And that probably deserves mourning more, if not less. The opportunity, a future that he did not have, and the man himself. Goodbye, Tyrell. Don't make me look like an ass here.
Roxanna's deliberately not saying anything. She's just making an appearance.
Oof. Fair enough.
Well,
I would have sat down somewhere because I'm not coping well, but I'm not going to say anything because it needs to be done.
I'm guessing you're mostly looking down because...
I'm sitting down at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm guessing your gaze
I've
is...
failed twice, so...
Yeah.
I guess I will say, truth be told, you were getting on everybody's nerves, and it was probably pretty dangerous for you, but I don't know where you came from. I don't know what demons chased you here, and just how out of place you were, but thanks for trying. I don't know whether you're doing it to try and impress me or just to test the limits of your power, and you just got a really shit roll of the dice.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even if it was gonna happen...
It wasn't been happening then.
I mean, we got a selection of wonderful people here, but some have beneficial powers they love, others were cursed by it. Your curse took you away real soon, and you didn't really get a chance, but that's all right. You're not afraid. You went out courageously for a kid who was just trying to do something right. That's good enough. He deserves his place on this wall.
But really? Oh, okay.
You can't do that.
You really shouldn't do that.
You really can't do that. It's your place to tell him.
You really just did that? You're just going to be getting that... Like, I'm not saying anything now because they're still... But you're just going to be getting stared daggers.
It doesn't matter whether you want to be here for this. You don't fuck with ceremony.
Well, I did.
It's like getting in your crop duster and rising up to fill that empty hole in the formation. Oh shit, they fucked up. There's not a plane guy.
Yeah, where's that fucking plane going?
I was way up there in my invisible plane and... Hi, guys! And there was a gap.
Friday morning.
Oh, he's getting chastised once the ceremony's over.
That can happen off screen.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know, though.
No, that's why he's not getting punished. He's just getting chastised. He'll get punished if he does it again.
So I'm doing...
Friday morning, you got a newspaper on the table over breakfast. Yeah.
He got us.
Got him! These press. Who's gonna...
Ken usually start.
I'll start. Well, yeah, well...
Alvin's here so he can read Stephen's slot.
The free press, the truth, shall make thee flip. Friday, 8th of March, 2013. Government FUD poisoned by Biff Chetson.
Was it? There we go. There's the answer.
15 rapages of government FUD... sorry, it actually says government food substitute were found poisoned across Cold Rocks last Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, spread across most of the city. Only a few sacks were contaminated in each distribution centre. But of course, all the FUD had to be tested, resulting in drastic shortages across most of the city, leaving many to go hungry. Worse, yet there were many deaths caused by the poison. Strangely, the poison has not been identified yet by police labs. One technician we interviewed said, "It's a really strange poison, super complex. All our usual tests have failed. It might be a new poison. We don't know what it is. It's super deadly. You would need a powerful, very powerful constitution to not just drop dead the instant it hit your stomach. What isn't deadly, though, is the great taste of McDonald's. Why not get a combo, largest size? Grab a Big Mac, McDonald's, Chicken McNuggets.
Those cruel bastards, there are no more
Biggest size
nuggets.
possible." No, residents can expect new, strictly monitored FUD shipments to start arriving in centres today.
See, the other paper can run with that one because he's admitting... I know you didn't put... There's no buy, that's alright. Because if there was a buy there, the other paper could run with it.
You always use the dash.
Xander Magruder always wears gloves by Kathy Baker. Suddenly, there is a new focus for public interest, Xander Magruder, and people have noticed a few strange things about him, which only draw more curiosity. First, is that he always wears gloves, or almost always. Why? It cannot be germ phobia, as he is noted to take them off on the dig of many things to use game machines, which others also use and will be covered in germs. So why? It can't be fashion. Some have speculated it's because his former lover, Ultra Girl, would not let him touch her, being the world's most renowned virgin and maybe prude. Another suggestion people have made is that it might be to hide a scar or deformity, but those close to him we interviewed mentioned no such thing. Finally, the most bizarre suggestion is that he wears them to protect his hands, like a safecracker or musician. The gloves are not the only strange thing people have noticed. Xander Magruder also never seems to be home lately. While it is true that his house is a disaster area, his absences begin before that. No one can find him during these times. Was he cuddled up with Ultra Girl? If so, that would counter an earlier theory. Finally, actual information on Xander Magruder is hard to come by. Hitting a wave of impenetrability once you dig a little at all. A wall, with USAC written all over it. Some have speculated the army is protecting the one-time contractor, or maybe because of the repeated attempts on his life. Whatever he is hiding, a lot of women in this town want to find out.
He's hiding his cock! In his pants!
Power Core Patrol Again by Buddy Flash Gibson.
Yeah, sorry that the headline's right at the bottom there and then it starts up. I didn't even notice until after the printing.
The dashing vigilantes are on the street again, and above them, beating up criminals and leaving the captured crooks for the police, who sometimes even manage to arrest them. Particularly the alluring and dangerous Soviet used her world-ending ice abilities to contain and detain instead of crush and destroy. The team were also seen later in the week battling steam engine jacks in the lower city, alternating between trying to stop the villain and saving bystanders.
Fuck, I'm good.
I know, right?
Okay? Shannon's reading Stephen's part.
Oh, I see.
That's how it goes.
I see. There you go. When he's here, you're
I know.
Perfect Midnight and Tragic Accident. Uh-oh. By Albus Pottinger. International megastar Peter Perfect Midnight is no stranger to American roads. However, eyewitnesses report that his car, a restored metallic black E-Type, drifted into the wrong lane while travelling into Nevada ahead of the remainder of his band, who was scheduled to play in Las Vegas early next week. The resulting collision with an 18-wheeled truck spread his small European car across the roadside for over a mile and killed the prominent singer. The sudden loss of the star sent ripples through the music industry and the fan base. Police have not ruled out foul play. Peter Midnight is survived by his wife, Roxy Midnight, and his two children, Dex and Dexy.
Is this the first that he's finding out about this?
Yep. But we'll deal with that
In a few...
Next week.
Oh, he's wrapping up after this.
Yes,
Oh,
because it's
okay.
past midnight.
Oh.
Human tragedy's fucking hilarious.
Wasn't intended either, was it?
Well, that was a really bad time to wear the Midnight t-shirt.
Yes, it is!
Or the best time?
Imagine just reading it and change his shirt while reading it. Masterton Speaks at the Senate by Kay Linderman. Pterodino CEO Dwight Masterton spoke before the Senate hearings into mutant crime this week. The busy executive who took over the small battery manufacturer Pterodino when its founder retired and built it into the mega corporation it is today spoke before a committee discussing the rising mutant crime. The current SAUTA Act amends the Mutant Registration Act and causes a grey area when dealing with the charging and sentencing of mutant offenders. Masterton spoke at length about the damages of prejudice and bias against the altered population and warned that the more the Senate tightened their grip, the more law-abiding mutants would feel pressured to break the law. However, Senator Arne Carlson called Masterton's motives into question by pointing out that Dwight Masterton's son, Lexian, was a mutant. Carlson then spent 15 minutes attacking Masterton personally and managed to turn the committee against the idea. New mutant punishments will be rolled out later in April once the committee has confirmed the resolution by vote on Monday.
You were raising your hand?
I think I would mutate.
Yeah, technically he is a mutate. Although a lot of people just use mutant. But you are technically correct. The best kind of correct!
Oh, so he wasn't born a...
No, he got hit by lightning
Yeah.
and became a mutant. So technically he's a mutate.
Local boy dies in mutant accident. Alona. Not all students are caught on the mutant screenings at schools. Some parents sign forms exempting the student. This can lead to sudden accidents. When the mutant student, undetected, discovered their powers and tries to hide it without a guide to explore their powers, they go too far, and sometimes it ends in tragedy. This is the story of Ellen Gordon, a young girl at Truman High, daughter of new Pterodino board member Harry Gordon. Ellen was described by her circle of friends as a pretty, energetic go-getter, an avid swimmer, member of the student council, volunteer at a Gub Fud shelter, cheerleader, maths whiz, and budding computer enthusiast. Ellen was always on the go, her boyfriend, Chuck Crendor, disclosed. She had so much energy, it's hard to imagine her sleeping. Of course, she is sleeping, eternal now, after she tore herself apart over the weekend. It is now apparent that Ellen was a mutant cursed with the ability to move incredibly fast. A super speeder in modern parlance. DMV experts concluded that she was aware of her power and was most likely testing them near the new construction site between Cold Rocks and Burning Sands. They have determined that during a run, her atoms accelerated so much the strong nuclear principle could no longer hold them together, and she literally hurled herself apart. Her family and friends are in mourning now, and why? Why would we lose the young like this to a culture that hates and fears mutants? The young mutant had none to guide them for fear of having their life ripped away. Or was this always her life's path? The whim of cruel gods? We may never really know.
I should point out there is actually a bit missing there where she didn't separate like the kid did. Her body literally chunked.
Yeah, I was about to ask how they know that she's...
Because chunks
Yeah,
of her were
that's what I was going to ask, yeah.
At a slower speed or something.
Certain parts accelerated faster than others, leading to shearing. So her literally, she literally bled to death, lying there limbless. It was a slow, agonizing death.
Especially when no one would have found her for age, until she was dead, basically.
Construction workers showed up and they were like, there's a lot of blood everywhere, like literally fucking everywhere.
Daring Robbery at Uranium Flats by Kathy Baxter. Nuclear materials suitable for making bombs can only be produced at a very few reactors in the world, and Uranium Flats is one of the best at it. Recently, Red Faction criminals staged a daring late-night raid on the plant to obtain some for secret buyers. Their cunning plan involves sneaking inside the laundry vans and sneaking into the reactors and slipping stolen material out in the laundry baskets. The one snag in their plan was that the security guards noticing an uptick in radiation from the van. The alarm was raised and the plant owner, Megaton, obliterated the gang and their van with a highly dense stream of whatever it is he shoots out of that big arm cannon he has.
It's not nice.
On Tuesday. Yeah, you've been hit
It's
by
not
that.
nice.
But that isn't... He upgraded it.
I know.
So,
Yeah,
I fucking know.
yeah, that was a fission cannon. This is a fusion cannon.
You
Yeah.
don't steal my stuff. I'll blow up my stuff. Motherfucker.
You want nuclear material? Here you go. Oh, let the function on!
Game Girls Are Real by E. Morgan. I sat down with Smouldering Digital Killer, Assassin Zero, earlier this week,
I forgot to change the title on that one. Sorry.
and it seems she is very popular. That same day I also sat down with Oberon1337, an interesting gamer with a penchant for squinting? Oberon is largely regarded as one of the 10 best gamers on the face of the planet, although he estimates it's closer to top 5. Confidence isn't a problem. Oberon, who prefers his online handle, has... and then it's just a full stop. Oberon is usually mentioned by other games with a slight growl and eye roll, but although he can at times be abrasive, he is acknowledged to be as good as he says, which can be annoying to many, as it isn't often the smack talk can be backed up. Oberon dominates at most games, but seems unbeatable behind the wheel of almost any driving game, despite not being able to drive in real life. On top of that, as a school project, he designed a new kind of mouse that is a computer peripheral, not the rodent, that uses a laser instead of a ball and can be weighted to alter performance, which he patented. After school, he built a new controller for himself, patented that, and has since designed and built over 15 video gaming peripherals, which have become hotly desired. Sadly, Oberon doesn't have the money to set up a gaming hardware company, but did agree to build something for the grand winner of the Thunderdome. I could use a new mouse, he added after a significant pause. Oberon's home life is less than stellar. He admitted being single and working in a supermarket in the stockroom. It pays the bills and funds my real life. He's currently in town in advance of the Archaeologist Convention. I'm looking forward to shattering some illusions in gaming. That Xander Magruder is on my level. Xander Magruder is on my level that anyone is, really. I asked him about the number of girl gamers entered. He replied, "It was a surprise, that's for sure. I kinda always thought it was a bunch of little fat kids. Still, it doesn't matter. Men, women, at the end of the day, they're just numbers. Second, third, fourth, etc." So I entered him in the charity date auction.
Oh yeah. Incidentally, that is a thing you can do. You can just enter other people because that's how it works in the movies.
So he wouldn't have been happy that both me and Empress bet him the other night.
Look, shit happens every now and then. There's a fluke.
Yeah, so it's always a fluke.
I mean, look, you didn't beat me twice before that, so, like, who looked right here? Look, every now and then, people who... It's like you're on a level. It's like people can, like, punch up over that, but, like, generally, like, when I'm doing badly and you're doing well, the confluences align. That's what it is.
Then we got a picture of him, and it says underneath, "The Pale Gamer with a Fistful of Controllers." Oberon 1337.
The gamer with no name. Oberon.
Beefy McSuba rescues 100 people, Eric Millard. Victims of mutant terrorist Boom Boom Malone got their beef's worth Thursday night. The terrorists detonated a train car in the busy passengers interchange in Chicago, causing flame and wreckage for half a mile, killing over 40 people. Emergency responders weren't able to respond because of the heat and debris, but Beefy McSuper arrived and began carrying people to safety, one double arm load at a time, not stopping until all the remaining living victims were clear. He then stayed on to help response teams battle the fire and contain the site. Big damn hero.
As Beefy McSuper would say, Beefy McSuper was here!
The Wanted, submitted by public. Mover wanted. Reliable, discreet, trustworthy individual wanted to move artwork from one room to another. More distant room. Over. It is never. It never is, Althor. Bow found. My kid found this bow. I'll give it back if you can describe it and tell me where you lost it. If you can't, my kid will use it on you.
Oh, sweet. I can get my bow back. Alona probably wasn't going to make me another one.
She wasn't going to give you another Alona?
You didn't include a phone number or an address.
You usually have to contact the paper to get that. That's everything? Alright.
Unless there's a third page. I'll turn it over a third page. What the? I'll turn it over a third page. What the? I'll turn it over a third page. What the? I'll turn